Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Welcome. Hello, I'm Abraham Lincoln. Today on my talk show, I'm joined by Bryn Leahy, director of the Museum of Reformation. One of her favorite reformers is William Lloyd Garrison, a well-known American abolitionist and reformer who I bet you're all curious to learn more about. Welcome to the show, Bryn.
Thank you for having me, Abraham.
No problem. So, what would you like us all to know?
Well, I do have some important facts about William that I think viewers will enjoy.
Great, go right ahead.
William Lloyd Garrison was one of the most well-known whites to fight for an end to slavery. He criticized all that thought different when it came to his specific views. Garrison was born on December 10 or 12, 1805 in Newburyport, Massachusetts. He later died in 1879.
Ha! How funny, I should be dead by now.
Hilarious. Anyways, at a young age, his father lost his job and his family became poor. It was at this young age that Garrison's belief for the abolition of slavery began. This belief led him to become an abolitionist. He was well known in the 1830s for his stand against slavery. Garrison fulfilled his job as an abolitionist through journalism and public speaking. He was a reporter for multiple abolitionist newspapers until 1831. He stopped in order to run his own, called The Liberator.
Interesting.
Glad you think so. In addition, Garrison co-founded the American Anti-Slavery Society in 1833, or AASS. Garrison stood for different things. One important one was an immediate end to slavery. This view was different than those of previous abolitionists who hoped for gradual change. Another hope of his was full equality for all blacks and women. Also, he was against working with any major political parties, because they didn't put forth much effort to end slavery no matter how much they said they were against it. All of these views were not well liked in the South or the North. Garrison struck danger from his expression of these views. For example, he was attacked by a mob in Boston in the year 1835 while speaking. He barely escaped being lynched. His views caused disagreements with other abolitionists. His good friend Frederick Douglass agreed on many of his points but felt the Constitution should be used to stop slavery, because it was about freedom and because slavery was unconstitutional and anti-American. Garrison felt the opposite. He said the Constitution at the time backed up the return of escaped slaves and considered slaves to be 3/5 of a person. Garrison said the Constitution was pro-slavery and should be destroyed. In 1844, he burned the Constitution in public to get his opinion heard loud and clear. Also, he supported John Brown's raid in Harper's Ferry, Virginia due to the goal of a slave uprising.
Wow, he must be quite the violent man.
Not initially. After Brown was hung, William said, as a peace man. An ultra-peace man. I am prepared to say, success to every slave insurrection at the South, and in every slave country. He may sound violent and mad, especially in his writing, but he wanted for slavery to end peacefully. He wanted to simply persuade slave owners and the government to stop slavery, but knew it wasn't possible, and changed views when the Civil War was just around the corner, around 1861. Garrison knew a huge goal of the North in the Civil War was to abolish slavery, and the South's goal was to preserve it. He realized violence and war were necessary, so he supported the North.
Oh, I see. Then, why did Garrison choose to write in such an angry manner?
We don't know for sure, but we do have some quotes that give us a clue. An article written by Garrison in The Liberator on January 1, 1831, says, "On this subject, slavery, I do not wish to think, or to speak, or write, with moderation. No. No. Tell a man whose house is on fire to give a moderate alarm, but urge me not to use moderation in a cause like the present. I will not retreat a single inch. NIT will be heard."
What an inspiring way to write.
I agree. Moving on, after the Civil War ended and slavery was abolished, William continued to write and speak, but now with a focus on equal rights for blacks and for women. Part of this was women's suffrage. I find William Lloyd Garrison to be quite an important person and a huge inspiration.
I fully agree. Even though he's called me wishy-washy for what he says was a slow approach I took to ending slavery. But I'm happy to say that he grew fonder of me when I made the Emancipation Proclamation.
Yes, he did. I think more people should follow in his footsteps. Why not fight for something you believe in and make a difference? Even some simple articles, words on paper, could help change the world.
Exactly. For all you people watching, don't be afraid to fight for a cause. Who knows, maybe you'll be talked about on a talk show. Thanks so much for your time, Bryn.
My pleasure, Abraham.
Bye everyone, thanks for watching. Tune in next time when I interview John Wilkes Booth, my friend.